por la noche, tu programa de política e información social comienza ahora. It's Tuesday evening, your award-winning political and information show. Listen to me starts now. Bueno, mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? Este es tu programa nominado para los Paoli Awards, ganador de los Sacro Imperio Awards. Listen to me. I'm J Rodríguez, and this is the award-winning Sacro Imperio award-winning show, winner of awards. Yes, because the competition likes to say, oh, we do this, we do that. You haven't won jack. Nothing. No han ganado nada, no han hecho nada, no saben ni peinarse. They don't even know how to comb their hairs. Anyway, this is J Rodríguez. I'm the only one that talks in English and in Spanish. El que habla en inglés y en español sobre las situaciones conservadoras republicanas, porque siempre lo he dicho, nunca he dicho una mentira. I have never lied. I said I am an opinionated show. This is about Republican issues, conservative issues, and I do it in English and in Spanish. And you know what? There's nobody that can even come to my toes. That's why I take a lot of vacations, because I need the competition to catch up. And no, there are no adversaries over here. There's only friends, because I don't believe in enemies. There's only friends, and we have a lot of friends that are here in the studio. As a matter of fact, you only see 3 people here, but we have a packed agenda. Tenemos una agenda bien llena y cargadita, así que mi monólogo es esta. The Trump hate media wants to keep on pushing the narrative that Trump is going to be impeached and he's going to be taken out of office. That is a total and flabbergasting lie. Eso no es verdad de que este juicio por enjuiciamiento por impeachment de Donald Trump no va a surgir, ni va a suceder, ni va a ser posible. ¿Por qué? Porque los demócratas van a perder en las elecciones del 2020. The Democrats are going to lose the elections in 2020. They're not going to be able to impeach the president. They're going to fail miserably, and he's not going to be removed. And you know what's going to happen with Donald Trump? He's going to soar, and the Democrats are going to flop. Again, I've always said it. Están cazando el conejo al hoyo. They're going after the rabbit through the rabbit's hole, and they're following everybody and anybody that says, I hate Trump. That is my monologue, and I'm going to keep it short. And anyway, mi gente, we have a person on the line right now with us. My dear, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All righty. Oh, hold on. Let me see. All righty. How about now? Can you speak again, please? Let's try that again.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, my dear. You are from Tennessee, right?
That is correct.
For those who don't know you, what is your name?
My name is Deborah Rouse, and you can call me Debbie.
Debbie. And you're running for the presidency of the United States how?
As a write-in candidate.
Okay. Can you tell me, in the history of elections, there has never been a write-in candidate that has come close to 0.5%. How can you, why do you want to do this? Is my main question.
Okay. I felt led of the Lord one day, and I thought, that has to be God, because nobody like myself, without the guidance of Jesus Christ, would even know how to do this. Me and my granddaughter, Shyla, and her little brother, Sage, have been helping me with the paperwork, mailing things and stuff. And like I said, I don't care if I win or if I lose. I'm just doing what the Lord wants me to. And if it's Him that wants me to be president, I'll be president and do His will.
Fantastic. Okay. So as a Christian man and a man that is saved by Jesus' blood, and now that we're going close to Christmas, a remembrance of the hope of the birth of our Savior, I congratulate you on that. But do you really think, do you have the teeth to be able to do this? And what are your talking points to be able to fix this country if you think this country needs fixing?
Well, what makes me think I can do this is, my main question is, what makes anybody think that I can't do this? I believe anybody can do anything with the guidance of Jesus Christ. Don't you think so, Mr. Rodriguez?
I do so. I am proof of many things that were once told to me that were impossible. They told me that I was impossible for me to win an award and have a talk show in English and in Spanish. They told me that I was a fool. They told me a lot of things, my dear. So, no, I don't doubt that.
And see, I've been made fun of too. Like, who do you think you are? You know, like, I'm a humble servant of Jesus Christ, and if he wants me to do this, take it up with him.
All righty. So let's dive into one very important question. What is your vision for America other than Donald Trump's?
My vision for America is for it to be a better place to live, a better place to want to be, peace of mind, and, you know, where you've got to start with peace at is in the home, you know, and, you know, what brings not peace to the home is work relations, people relations. You know, you bring your work home with you. You bring your frustrations home from you when you're out in the public. My focus is on reuniting families, you know, to have that peace that us as Christians have.
Okay. And Debbie, have you been able to expand your campaign outside of your home state?
Oh, yes. By the grace of God, I'm on Florida's website, which you probably know. It's probably how you found me, wasn't it, Mr. Rodriguez?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm on Delaware's website. I'm on Alaska's website. Fixing to be on Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Washington's website, and 15 other states, which I don't have in front of me right now.
I reckon.
So
I understand.
You know, and see, I don't have to go to the primary. No one has to vote for me in the primary. I get to go straight to the general election, the final election, to compete against the ones that won in the primary.
I reckon. And Debbie,
Yeah.
how can people find out about you? Do you have a website, another website, or a campaign website?
Yes, I do. Well, it's Rouse for President. That's ROUSE for President.com. And there I have links on my YouTube videos. You know, I have videos about gun control, people in prison, jails, and things like that. I've got about 12 videos, and I've got over quite a few, you know, of looks and stuff, you know. So it's looking pretty good by the grace of God.
Amen. And so you will respect the mandate of the American electorate come the day of the election, right? I don't want to play the negative here, but what happens if the day of the election Donald Trump is reelected? Will you abide by what the electorate have chosen?
Of course. I'm not here to compete.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here, whoever the Lord wants in the White House, that's fine with me. Like I said, I'm just doing what the Lord wants me to do. And if he wants Donald Trump in there again, that's fine with me. And, you know, we're supposed to, you know, pray for our leaders, you know, make sure that they do what the Lord wants them, you know, to protect us and things. Don't you believe that, Mr. Rodriguez?
I do believe it. I'm a man of Christian faith. I'm a man who believes that my soul belongs to Jesus Christ, my Savior, and I am a Catholic and a Christian, and I believe that strongly. So that is why I invited you to my show, because of this strength that you and a conviction that you've shown for running. Because believe me, a lot of the Democrats don't want people like you running for anything.
I know. And see, and the fact that I get to go straight to the general election means that they're not worried.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Again, can you please repeat that website?
I said, and the fact that I get to skip the primary election altogether and go straight to the general election to compete against the winners of the primary, they're not worried.
That is true. But your website, that people could know a little bit more about you, what's the website?
RalphforPresident.com.
All right. And Debbie, is there anything else that you want to say to more? Remember, because my show reaches 88 countries, almost 3.4 million, 1 million in Florida. So is there anything particular you wish to say?
You know, the other day when we had our preliminary interview, that was such a blessing to me. I got to pray on it and everything. And I've got answers to those questions if you'd like to ask me those questions again.
Well, yes, but unfortunately, my show, I have it jam-packed today. I have other guests that I have to get to. So I want to try and invite you to a second time. Would that be possible?
Of course it would.
All right. And yes, I want the people to hear your answers to those questions, and it is very important. But I want you to know that I wish you the best of luck. And we will coordinate with your staff and yourself of another follow-up interview so you could answer these questions when we have a little bit more time. Is that okay with you?
Of course it is. And let me tell you what an honor and a blessing is that you did choose me to do this interview.
Well, fantastic. There was a lot of other people that wanted to be here, and you were the chosen one. Thank you, Debbie. And we will be talking to you soon. Thank you very much for your time, okay?
Okay, God bless.
God bless. Bueno, mi gente, estábamos hablando con una señora que quiere ser presidente de los Estados Unidos a nivel de write-in. Eso quiere decir que tú escribas el nombre de ella. Y yo le comenté que ni el 0.5% en la historia del electorado americano, una persona que escribe su nombre ha sacado algo. Joel, how you doing? My friend Joel's over there scratching his head.
I'm just trying to figure out how this young lady is going to get on 50 states, on all 50 states.
Well, she says she's about in 14 websites, so 14 state websites. So she has what? A little bit more to go.
A little bit more to go, and a whole lot of work, and nobody knows you're on the ballot.
Exactly.
And if you win, where are you going to get your delegates from? And your delegates in the Electoral College can vote for anybody.
Exactly.
So you have to make sure that they're going to stay with you.
They don't pledge for somebody else.
She is totally blessed by God. If she is a victor, she has done something that is insurmountable.
Exactly. I can't take out how people fill their blessings of God, because God can bless you in many, many ways. It will take another conversation with her, because I'm really interested on different points, and I did ask her off the air what were her points for different views, and they are very, very, very strikingly similar to President Trump's. So I want to see how that correlation between God telling her where to go and what to run in correlation to the steps she wants to use to bring America back again.
I will be listening to your next show.
Yes.
I really will.
As a matter of fact, I think you're going to be here.
Very interesting.
and Charles is going to be here.
I have so many questions, but I really want to talk about a great Lincoln Day because of one of your guests here this evening. When Stephen Strange, gave us the opportunity to share the word in his books with our audience at the Lincoln Day, they were floored. They were so blessed, and they were so happy, and I'm so glad to have an opportunity that he's here. He's going to share that blessing with you on your show.
Es verdad, y Doug habla sobre lo que nosotros hicimos, los republicanos nos unimos, tuvimos nuestro Lincoln Day dinner y nosotros echamos para adelante todas las divisiones. We put away all of our divisions, and we're very grateful for the gentleman that is right next to me, because él dio de su libro la versión en inglés y esta es la versión en español. Lo tengo aquí y vamos a hablar sobre eso. Pero Joel, before we go to our esteemed guest, real quickly, that Lincoln Day dinner, that was awesome, right? Eso fue algo.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I'm like still the energy in that room, the energy and the unification of our party, our strength in Orange County is insurmountable. We raised $100,000.
Wow.
So I'd like to thank Mr. Strange because he was part of that fantastic opportunity. We'll net $60,000. We'll have candidates in races. This mayor's race where everybody's going, the Republicans had nobody out there. Well, that's because we have to build.
Exactly.
And build, we need money. We need to have the resources to be able to compete.
And we have the leadership, brother. We have the leadership necessary in place with you, with Robbie, with Charles Hart, and many other good Republicans that are working. We can flip Orange County from blue to red, but you're right. We have a lot of work, and the Lincoln Day dinner was the right seat. And with further ado, I want to bring Mr. Stephen E. Strange. He has these books in front of me right over here, and we want him to introduce himself. Mr. Strange, thank you very much for being here and listen to me. Muchísimas gracias, señor Strange, para estar con nosotros aquí en el programa Listen to Me. Thank you, sir. Anything you would like to say?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. So, you have a variety of different books here, God and Donald Trump, Trump Aftershock. You have the Spanish book, El temblor después de Trump, el impacto sísmico del presidente en la cultura y la fe de los Estados Unidos. Why write these books, sir? What compelled you to get these books done?
Well, let me give you a little background. First of all, I've lived in Orlando area since 1973. I actually worked for the Orlando Sentinel.
Oh, wow.
And back then, Orange County was almost entirely Republican.
Exactly.
As Orlando has grown and as people have come from really all over the world, it's become more and more blue. But while I was working for the Sentinel, I had an idea to start a Christian magazine called Charisma, which has become one of the biggest Christian magazines in the world and has spawned us doing lots of other things, mainly publishing books. So I have published over 3,000 books, and I decided, because of what was happening in the election in 2016, that there was an untold story. And, you know, of course, nobody really believed that Donald Trump would win, but there were Christian prophets, including a Catholic holy man, which we could talk about if you like, who predicted that Donald Trump would win. And in all of the discussion about Donald Trump in the election, the aspect about God and who is God's will and which direction is our country going, and does the Bible or God have anything to do with it? So I wrote God and Donald Trump because I felt that it was a story that needed to be told. And it was far more successful than we ever thought. I really wrote it because I just thought the story needed to be told, and I'm a publisher and I was able to do it. We followed that up with Trump Aftershock, which was really about the very amazing first 2 years of office, both in his accomplishments and also in what I say that the left just went crazy. Exactly. And I documented that. Now we have an election that I think in a lot of ways is more important even than the one in 2016. And so I'm looking at what's at stake if Donald Trump loses. And this is my way to try to get conservatives and especially committed Christians involved in the process, because Christian people tend to be passive. They tend to sit back. The other side is becoming more and more anti-God and anti-Christian, and I believe that if the other side gets in, that we're going to lose a lot of our religious freedoms. I believe that they're going to criminalize things. I believe our support of Israel will change radically. I believe that the wrong kind of judges will be put in. I mean, I could go on and on about what I believe is at stake, and that's why I wrote the book. It's coming out in January, and it's my attempt to try to get people motivated to make the case why Donald Trump has to be reelected.
Es bien interesante lo que me dice el autor Stephen E. Strange, el autor de El temblor después de Trump, el impacto sísmico del presidente en la cultura y en la fe de los Estados Unidos. Es una cuestión que podemos buscarlo entre los medios. Mucha gente hicieron predicciones sobre Donald Trump y la presidencia de los Estados Unidos, hasta catedráticos, gente de la religión. Y él, por ser una persona que tiene su propia empresa publicitaria, pues decidió empezar a escribir sobre estos temas, y por endemente, pues uno de los libros pues fue God, Dios y Donald Trump. Is this book in Spanish also?
No, it's not.
No. All right. El libro no está en español, pero para que los que entiendan inglés, God and Donald Trump. Try and get it. Really good. But his second book, su segundo libro, your second book, Trump Aftershock, El temblor después de Trump, sí está en español, y nosotros vamos a hacer algo único aquí. El que me llame o me escriba, ya se hace en vivo ahora o a través de la transmisión. In other words, after this has gone live, if you see us either through radiount.net live today o a través de nuestro canal de YouTube, in our YouTube channel, BBN Info, you can write to us. You could call us. The phone numbers are there, 321-439-8218. We will give you the book in Spanish. Te vamos a regalar el libro. Ya sea de donde estés, en los Estados Unidos, in the United States. I'm sorry, international. If you want the book, international, I could get you the information of the editorial and the press, and you could buy it there. I'm sorry. Outside of the United States, I can't do it. Sorry. But this book is really good. Este libro es muy bueno. Tuve el honor de leerlo en inglés. I had the honor of reading it in English, and it is a great read. I cannot wait to read other books from Mr. Strange. And sir, we do need to have Donald Trump reelected. It is a matter, I think, of national security. And Doug, you would agree with me that the Trump hate media is out in a frenzy.
Well, our Orlando Sentinel, our Slantinel, they simply anybody but Donald Trump. That's who they've already done their endorsement. I mean, it's incredible that the man has absolutely no support amongst the media.
You know, they called it the Slantinel when I worked there. We also called it the Sensational. But it's crazy. You know, it's a failing newspaper. I'm glad I don't work there anymore.
Yeah,
have you read it lately? It's smaller and smaller all the time. I don't think people pay attention to the Sentinel like they used to.
Isn't Maxwell on vacation now or something, like extended something? Because he's
know.
Not even writing.
That is what is amazing, because I remember 20 years ago picking up the Sentinel, and it was something nice to read. You know, there were really good articles, but some of the talent that used to work for the Sentinel, they're gone.
No, they're gone. I'll tell you, one of my favorite reporters from the Sentinel that I'm aware of, because I've only been here 7 years. Well, now it's 8 years, but I came from South Florida, and I read Scott Powers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He works for Florida politics now.
No, he left.
He left. He's very successful. I would never know what side of an issue he's taking, because
Mark Pinsky is another one. Did a very good job of reporting, and especially in the religious community. He's been gone a long time. The fact is, they can't afford to pay people. But
yeah, they don't want to pay.
It's sad what's going on. But you know what? They have a mindset like the rest of the press. It's almost like groupthink. And, you know, they're not much different than the rest of the media. There are some media, you know, even in the Christian media, that's what we're doing. We have magazines, podcasts, websites, and we publish books. And I'm just trying to do my part to get the word out, to motivate people that the stakes are high. We cannot allow this to go to the other side. And one of the second chapter of the book is why Trump might lose. And I don't personally think that he's going to, but the other side is so dishonest. Yes. You know, why is it that the vote is closed? It's late on election night, and they suddenly find boxes full of ballots that nobody knew anything about. You know, it's just fraud. Yep. And why is it that dead people always vote Democrat?
Oh, that's Chicago. Yep.
Listen, it's all over the country.
It's South Florida, too.
Yeah. When I used to work in Chicago, we used to find precincts that had 150 people, 300 people vote.
Well, I mean, now the attack is on the Electoral College.
Yeah.
We can't beat you. We can't beat you with a true republic. We can't beat you, you know, with a fair and equal system. So what we want to do is we want to democratize the last republic we got. I mean, didn't they not get the senators, you know, where they used to be elected from the House, the state House?
It used to be the way it was written when the Constitution was written, is that they were appointed by the state legislators up until about 1920.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we have a Constitution that allows itself to be amended. But the reason we have an electoral college, which follows the population very, very closely, but it keeps the big states from overwhelming the little states. You know, I mean, what if the population developed just in New York and California, where they controlled everything in the country?
No.
Now, that hasn't happened. And usually, whoever wins the electoral college
Exactly.
wins the popular vote. It's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times in history, and it's always a very, very close election. And if you take away California from the last election, if you take away California, Donald Trump got the popular vote. It was California alone.
Yep.
Now, he won by an electoral landslide, but the fact is he really won by 80,000 votes in 3 states that the Democrats thought they had in their pocket. It was Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. That is razor thin. 80,000 votes. Yet the system worked.
It works, and that's what I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's what's so important is we have a system in place that works, and now they want to take that away.
But
anything to defeat it.
The way it's very hard to get a constitutional amendment through, and that's good. Otherwise, they'd be putting through dozens and dozens of amendments. It's 2/3 of the state. Now, do you think that 2/3 of the states are going to vote to do away with it and give it to the population, big population states with a popular vote? I don't think so.
Oh no, and again, these states that want to transfer the delegates to the popular.
Sharing. I think they're talking about a sharing system. So if we win this, and then we'll share with this state, that's so complicated. I don't even understand.
Yeah, the thing is that they want to dilute. Look, the Democrats, what they want is they want a zombie electorate with a complicated voting system that will perpetrate. Oops. They're calling me. All right.
It's the White House.
It's the White House. So basically, what they want is they want to try and warp the minds of the electorate to say, hey, don't run. Let us stay here in Congress and in the Senate for the next 20, 40 years, and we'll run your lives. We'll tell you what we have to do. And basically, we will.
Jay, you're supposed to turn that
I know.
off and be more respectful.
I know. Like, what is this? Now they're calling me. They don't call me before the show. They call me after the show. But you get what I'm saying is the Democrats have one frame of mind. It's socialism. It's communism. You do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, the Democratic Party is very different, even though when Bill Clinton is in, it's certainly different from John Kennedy and certainly different from Harry Truman. It's not the same. And in my book, God Trump the 2020 election, I talk it's not even really against Democrats and Republicans, although when it comes to voting, it is the two-party system. We have a binary system. I think it's really against traditional values and radical socialism. The liberal Democrats you could live with. It's just these extreme leftists that are just so outlandish, and all they want is power. They want to control our lives, and even this Green New Deal. I mean, everyone is, especially here in Florida, we're all very concerned about the environment. But I don't think they're so concerned about the environment. They want a radical change of our laws where the government gets control of all these things, even with the environment. Yes, the environment's probably changing, but they don't know really how to fix it. But if we give them all the control where they can do all this stuff, then they can control every bit of our lives. And that's what's scary.
My God, they want to get rid of the cows. Oh my God, they want to get rid of the cows on cars. Hey, it's not a solution.
They want to get rid of.
It is not a solution.
They want to get rid of air travel. They want to get rid of. Look, if I light a candle right on this table,
you got to pay a tax.
I'm going to have to pay a tax because there's carbon coming from that candle. Look, there's a volcano, and it takes a burp. You know what happens? The environment. What are you going to do? You're going to dig up what's she planning on doing? I'm just trying to figure out.
The environment takes care of itself. If you've ever been to Europe, where it was almost destroyed by World War II,
Exactly.
It's green and trees, and I mean, the environment heals itself.
Exactly.
And it's been changing for years. There was an ice age, and if you've ever been up to Alaska and seen the glaciers, they explain how the glaciers are still, receding. It's just part of weather cycles that we don't understand. And right here in Florida, not too far from us, is St. Augustine, Florida. That's where Europeans first came in 1565. Their little colonial town was built right next to the ocean. It's still there. And guess what? Sea level is exactly the same as it was in 1565. It's not like it goes up and down like the tides. If it varies an inch. Yet, who is it? AOC says that Miami is going to be underwater in 10 years because of the melting ice caps or something. I mean, it's just crazy talk. Nothing scientific backed up at all.
We're very interesting. We're with Mr. Stephen E. Strange. He's the author of El Temblor Después de Trump. Well, we got 2 winners. Those we're calling. We have Wislady Diaz. She won a copy, and we have another winner also. I'll have to check that out. So we have 2 winners that we're calling. So that's really cool. We got 2 winners for the 2 books. Please give us a call. Sigan llamando 321-439-8218 si quieren ganar. I got 2 more books to give out. We have one interesting message that we want to do. Miles of Help Through Christ, 10th annual Thanksgiving for the homeless. It is going to be at the Walt Disney Amphitheater in Lake Eola. It's going to be this Saturday, this Saturday. So from 12 noon to 4:30. Come check it out. I'm going to be the MC. So hey, come check me out. So it's Miles of Help Through Christ. It's the 10th annual Thanksgiving for the homeless. Mr. Strange. Is it possible that we could talk about something that we talked out off the air? You're finishing, or you're putting the finishing touches to another book. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, but first I'd like to say something. I hope I'm not being rude mentioning this, but you've been mispronouncing my name. So can I tell you how to do it?
Yeah.
First name is Stephen.
Stephen.
Last name is Strang.
Strang. Okay. Strang.
There's no E on the end.
Okay.
And it's commonly done, and
Strang.
if nobody
All
explains it, so now that's settled, we can go on. Yes,
All
my
right.
new book is God, Trump, and the 2020 Election. It comes out on January 14th, and we're heading. I got a whole bunch of media planned, and I'll just tell you that today, it went to press.
Wow.
So I've been working on it since April, and it's my way to try to get conservatives, especially conservative Christians, motivated to go to the polls. So it's coming out about 10 and a half months before the election, and I'm hoping to get it in the hands of lots and lots of people to make the case why it is so important. Also to help people understand, even people that support Trump don't often understand all of the issues of what's involved. They don't understand how dishonest the other side is, which we talked about a little bit before. And I try to make the case. It's in 3 sections. The first is understanding what's at stake. The second part is understanding Donald Trump, who he's really like, what is he really like. And the other I call understanding the spiritual dimension. And there is a spiritual dimension to this. Some of it we don't understand. And some of your listeners may know that in the Bible, there are certain numbers that mean certain things. The number 7, for example, is connected with, do you know what it is? It's considered the number of
Trinity.
Perfection. A 3 would have to do, of course, with the Trinity. Number 8 is the new beginnings. But here are some interesting things. Now, I didn't come up with this. I'm just reporting it. But on the day that Donald Trump was born, June 14th, 1946, was a solar eclipse. They don't happen very often. And sometimes we attach significance to solar eclipses. If you count 700 days to the day after Donald Trump was born, was the day that Israel was born. When Donald Trump was inaugurated on January 20th, 2017, he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. And I could tell you more than that. What do these mean? I don't know. But it's almost like maybe God is sending us a sign. At least that's kind of how I take it, why I included in the book. And also there have been prophecies, and I mentioned the Catholic holy man. You want me to talk about that now?
Well, yes, about that. But there's a quote in the new book, and it's the only quote that I'm going to come out. It's from Mike Pence during the 2020 candidacy announcement here in Orlando, Florida. The choice in this election will not be a choice between 2 candidates. It will be a choice between 2 futures. Why did you want to include that in your book?
Well, we opened every chapter with a poignant quote, just to get people's attention. It is 2 futures. Are we going to be a constitutional republic? Are we going to adhere to the values that have made America great? You know, America's values have caused us to be giving. No country is more generous than America. When America was almost destroyed by Nazism and by the Japanese Empire, who was it who saved the world for democracy?
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't England and France. In fact, France was overrun by the Nazis and England was about to fall. You know, Canada and Australia and other countries also fought, but it was America. So America is a great nation, and if the other side gets in, they're going to want to become socialist. America will be weak. There will not be American exceptionalism. So it is two futures, and our country, in my opinion, things are getting worse and worse and worse. Not only governmentally, but also socially.
Right now we're being introducing some new guests, Mr. Strang, right? Strang.
Right.
Strang. All right. I'm sorry. I've been speaking English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and my pronunciations are all over the place. Let me just bring another guest. Over here. You're going to be sitting right over here. Okay. Basically, we're having a full house, so we're going to be sharing one. Buenas noches. And we're going to that story of the priest in a moment, but I just want to get to my other guests. Nathalie Rizzo, ¿cómo tú estás? Y preséntate a las personas de Listen to Me y gracias por tu paciencia.
Gracias a ustedes. Muy buenas noches, le habla Nathalie Carpio. Yo vengo representando el club Hialeah Republican Club que está en Hialeah.
Hialeah, Florida.
En Hialeah, Florida, exactamente. En Miami. Esto es parte de una actividad que queremos llegar a estar aquí, a estar Orlando para presentarnos y unir fuerzas en el partido para las próximas elecciones. Queremos unir a la comunidad latina hispana, ayudar a dar la información correcta para que pues, cada latino que vive aquí en este estado, en Orlando, sepa lo que está pasando con el Partido Republicano y con las próximas elecciones.
¿Y cuán importante es involucrar a los hispanos para las próximas elecciones? Bueno,
primero que todo, es una voz que necesitamos tener en el Congreso. Es una voz que los latinos creo que debemos tener la fuerza de que nuestra voz se escuche tanto en la Casa Blanca como en el Congreso de los Estados Unidos. Y eso es algo que estamos luchando desde hace muchos años.
So you could know why did I bring them in. One of the things that I told you is that in our show is that we like to network other people. And you have written a book about Trump and the importance of Trump. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you is God, Trump, and the 2020 election. Will that be printed in Spanish also?
We haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, we have people here that want to try and sway you into yes.
By the way, you don't need to network me with Joey.
Okay.
We've been friends for 10 years.
Yes.
At least.
Yes.
Well, Joey, habla, ya que el caballero está presentado, pues Joey, dile hola a la fanaticada aquí de Listen to Me.
Buenas noches para todos ustedes. Le habla el pastor J Robles Levy. Estoy aquí juntamente con este grupo y esta entidad de que lo que estamos haciendo es uniendo esfuerzos para alcanzar que nuestro presidente sea nuevamente electo en las próximas elecciones del 2020. Y como puertorriqueño y como latino y como pastor queremos unir esfuerzos y queremos llevar una voz al latino, una voz al hispano, reconociendo que tú eres importante para estas próximas elecciones, eres importante para alcanzar el triunfo de nuestro presidente. Y al puertorriqueño tú eres importante y te tienes que levantar para que podamos alcanzar lo que Puerto Rico necesita, una igualdad para todos, para poder conseguir la estadidad número 51 y poder unirnos y empujar esfuerzos. Más adelante voy a compartir con un joven que es venezolano, que ha venido aquí a los Estados Unidos, que es un abogado, que ha pasado por, como decimos en Puerto Rico, por la salsa y el guayacán en el proceso, pero no se ha rendido. Y es bien importante que él sea escuchado, porque voy a tener unas preguntas que él tiene respecto a lo que es la inmigración, a cómo él ve la perspectiva, de su propia perspectiva, cómo él ve al presidente Donald Trump y cómo él entiende que Donald Trump ha estado actuando hacia el hispano, si ha estado actuando en favor o en contra.
My dear friend, and basically that's what he's talking about. What is what resonates to every Puerto Rican that has come to Central Florida, which is equality. We want Puerto Rico to become the 51st state. We want Donald Trump to become elected. We want Orange County to be flipped from a blue to red. Not all Puerto Ricans that come from the island don't vote Democrat. That's a myth. And as you know,
the media
Joey
tries to keep that myth alive.
Oh yeah, and
So
that's why
I'm glad you're speaking up.
But that's why we need your book in English and in Spanish. And again, it's not to put pressure upon you, because that is not my point here. My point is to you see how people, and if you know Joey, and now that you know me, you understand the importance of your message in both languages to be able to dissuade what the fake media has done. Now, can you please tell me what that story of the priest, real quick?
Okay. Well, I don't know. How much time do we have? I could tell it. Short version. You know, there are prophecies that Donald Trump would be elected president. There was a prophet named Kim Clement. You probably heard of him. He died the same month, sadly, the same month that Trump was elected. So this could not be made up. You can go on YouTube. Several million people have watched these prophecies that God was going to raise up somebody who was an outsider. He didn't say Trump. He talked about a wall. He talked about the economy. It's rather amazing. Then I came across an even more amazing prophecy that was made in the 1980s. It was by a man that they called the Hermit of Loreto in Italy. He was actually an American from Melbourne. He was a very devout Catholic. He moved over to Italy, lived at the Vatican, and then later moved to Loreto, which is where Mary's house is. He went to Mass. I was told he went to Mass 100,000 times in his life, and he prayed. And he told a young medical student, an American, in the 1980s, that God was going to use an American businessman named Donald Trump to move America to God. And the old man actually died in 2009. And when Trump ran for president, I write about this more in the book. It's all detailed. This doctor, whose name is Claude Coran from Boston, told his priest, he said, "You won't believe what this old man told me." Well, the priest had actually met the old man, and he remembered that he was respected and that he was a holy man. And he did a YouTube video that went viral, which is how I found out about it. I checked into it, and we have to take this doctor's word, for the fact that it happened. But you have to wonder, why would God reveal that to a holy man? The man said that he believed it so much that when they bricked up St. Peter's door, I hope I'm saying this right, he actually bought a brick and put Donald Trump's name on it so the prayers would be there. Wow. But it's just like there's different examples of where God spoke. We don't talk about this. The secular press never talks about this. Secular people don't pay any attention. A lot of people in the church don't pay a whole lot of attention. But I think that that God raised up this unlikely businessman who had never held office, who has a lot of traits that people find objectionable, to be strong for America, to help us secure our borders, to rebuild our military, to improve our economy, to make America a leader around the world. And I just thought, you said you're a Catholic, and Catholics, there's a lot about that I don't understand. I don't understand about being a holy man and going to Mass 100,000 times. Joey and I are Pentecostals,
Yes.
But we do believe in prophecy, don't we, Joey?
Yes, we believe in prophecy. And like what you were saying, I was saying before in Spanish, I was addressing the Hispanic community is what I was addressing. I was addressing the Hispanic community and also addressing the Puerto Rican, to be able to stand out, that we need to unify, that we have to come as one body together and be able to make sure that President Donald Trump gets reelected in 2020. I believe with all my heart and certainty that that will happen. I believe that our next president in 2020 will be Donald J. Trump, and we believe it's stronger, but we have to let know the Hispanic community and the Puerto Ricans that we have a voice, that we have to come together in agreement, that we have to push for the agenda of Puerto Rico becoming state 51, that we need that balance, that unifying and that equality that we are missing by not being part of the state. There's a lot of benefit that Puerto Rico is missing by not becoming a state. And that's something that we have to speak, that we have to let people know. And we're here to bring that information for everybody. Also, I wanted to say that I have next to me a young Venezuelan. He's a lawyer. He's 26 years old. He's Santiago, and I'm going to be asking him some questions that he has gone through difficulties as he's coming right now, living experiences in Venezuela. And he has his dad that is a doctor over there in Venezuela, and how difficult has been. But also, I want for him to be able to speak out and say what he has in his heart, and from the perspective of immigrants and how they see the president involved in this scenario of immigration, and what is his perspective and his thought about our president.
I have a big part in this book about Venezuela.
In the new book?
In the new book.
All right, well, that's good.
And a warning that, I mean, it seems impossible, but it seems impossible for Venezuela to happen what happened. But
Exactly.
it could actually, at the nth degree, it could happen here like it happened to Venezuela.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I want, and Joey, I know that you've been following my show.
Yes.
We do have an advocate for Venezuela. Her name is Mila Márquez. She's
Yes.
also a lawyer. And
Yes.
She's spoken avidly against the Maduro regime.
That's
and,
correct.
And she's even showed me pictures of her
Yes.
slaying students
Mhm.
by Maduro's hand.
Yep.
Because you know that there are photographs of Maduro holding a gun, shooting from a bridge,
Yes.
shooting students, and
Yes.
you, it's right, verdad?
Yeah,
Yes.
So we know, and look, my hairs.
Yes.
The plight of the people in Venezuela, we are with them, and I'm
Yes.
glad, sir, that you did write about it. And again, if you did write about it, it is necessary that we have it in Spanish so we could give it to these people, not only people that speak English, but that speak Spanish. Again, I'm not putting pressure, but if you need somebody to help us, and Joey's my witness, if you need somebody to help you, so distribute that book in Spanish, we're here for you.
Yeah.
But now let us go back. Gracias por estar en mi show. Para aquellos que te están escuchando por primera vez, ¿cuál es tu nombre?
Santiago Sáenz, muchísimas gracias.
¿En qué parte de Venezuela?
Caracas, Venezuela. Caracas, Venezuela. Caracas, sí, sí,
So
from
I'm gonna
Caracas.
I want it to be beneficial to Steve Strang and the audience that they don't know
Yeah,
Spanish.
yeah.
If you want, you can just speak in Spanish, and I will
sure.
translate for you as
For
you go, so
for
you can be
for
informed.
sure,
Okay.
For sure.
Yes.
Primero que nada, bueno, muchísimas gracias por estar acá.
First of all, thank you very much for allowing me to be here in the show.
Y justamente lo que quiero transmitir, el mensaje, es que la migración debe ser una migración por la vía legal.
So first of all, what I want to say is about immigration. That immigration should be handled by the legal area, the legal way.
That's correct, exactly. Y una casa, quiero poner el ejemplo porque esto es la migración.
I want to put an example of one house.
La casa, si no tiene paredes,
If the house doesn't have a wall,
no es una casa.
it's not a house.
Un país, si no tiene fronteras, no es un país.
A country if doesn't have a border is not a country.
La migración tiene que ser legal.
The immigration have to be legal.
Y esa es la migración que está apoyando el presidente Donald Trump.
And that's the type of immigration that President Trump is supporting.
Una migración de buenas costumbres y buenos valores.
It's an immigration of good culture and good manners.
I want to say some words in English to this gentleman. I really appreciate your help, your cooperation, and I'm so happy that you write about my country.
Estoy bien agradecido de que tú estás haciendo lo que estás haciendo por mi país y por haber escrito en el libro acerca de mi país.
People in Venezuela that are escaping, they don't have food, they don't have medicine, they don't have anything. Okay?
Personas en Venezuela están escapando, no tienen comida, no tienen medicina, le están escapando fuertemente.
I'm so glad a voice like you
Estoy bien agradecido que una voz como la tuya
are saying that Venezuela is not a lie.
está diciendo que Venezuela no es una mentira.
Thank you very much. Sir.
Gracias muchas veces. So I wanted to ask you, quiero preguntarte,
Ese es en su libro.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to ask you, quiero preguntarte, ¿cómo tú ves el presidente realmente tocando el tema de la inmigración? How do you see the president touching the topic of immigration?
No, el presidente lo está haciendo de una manera correcta, vertical.
The president has been very vertical and he's doing it correctly.
La migración, vuelvo a repetirlo,
The immigration, I'll say it again,
tiene que ser legal.
have to be legal.
Los mecanismos deben ser por la vía de la ley.
The
Fuera de
mechanism
ellas,
have
no.
to be by the legal ways.
Y vuelvo a repetir, una casa, si sus pilares no son correctos,
And I
se
wa-
derrumba.
And I want to repeat, a house without walls and without the foundation and the pillars will be destroyed, will come down.
So basically, the first pillar in a good immigration is the good values and the good customs.
So, lo primero que importa en la inmigración es los valores y las costumbres.
Do I have time to tell how I found out about Venezuela?
Please.
I spoke at the Trump Club up in St. Augustine, Florida. And one of the members there, one of the most enthusiastic members, was this man from Venezuela who's actually lived here since he was a teenager. So that's like maybe 20 years. And, we got to talking, and I said to him, can you please explain to me how a country can live with 10 million% inflation? I said, I can't even understand it. So we got into a conversation, and I'm a journalist, and so I said, this is an interesting story. I want to do a podcast. So I did a podcast with him, and he explained to me that what happened was things were so bad in Colombia that the poor people from Colombia went through the poorest border to Venezuela, which was very prosperous. He told me how prosperous it was. It was the most prosperous country in South America.
Yeah, that's correct.
And they formed kind of barrios or poor around the cities, like a circle around all the big cities. And then Chavez came in. They didn't have much. They were very, very poor. There were a lot of them. And Chavez came in and promised them everything. So he got elected. As soon as he got elected, he did away with the Constitution. He implemented socialism, Cuban-style socialism, took over the oil companies. The Americans and the other non-Venezuelans all pulled out. They didn't know how to run the oil companies. The economy went down. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than this, but he was explaining that it started with porous borders, and and then it went to people just wanting the government to give them everything. And listen, if the socialists get in, if AOC gets in, if Elizabeth Warren, if Bernie Sanders, they won't have to have done a war. They're going to get in there. They're going to implement their policies. I mean, it'll take a few years, but listen, are businessmen like me going to invest in things if the government's going to take everything away? Of course not. And it'll go down and down and down. The expenses will go up and up and up.
Yeah.
After a while, whole system is going to collapse. I mean, we don't know how bad it's going to happen. And it starts with borders. And the chapter is, I call God Loves Borders, because there's a lot that the Bible says about borders, and a lot of the Bible says about how you treat the stranger in your midst, and Christians can look at it from a biblical perspective, in my opinion. But I go into all this other stuff, and of course, I hope people read the book to find out about it.
Now that you mentioned borders and walls, you know where the first wall was built in the Bible?
This is a joke, right?
No, it's not a joke. It's real.
In the Bible?
In the Bible.
The Bible, no.
The
First, the walls built in the Bible.
I know the one that was destroyed by Jericho.
Okay, that's a good one. What else?
No, I will tell you the truth. I don't know exactly. No.
In Eden,
Okay.
Bible says that after Adam and Eve were kicked out, he put two angels in the front of the wall to protect the Garden of Eden.
Exactly. You're right.
So if God protected Eden with walls, you need walls to protect your country.
That's correct.
And we have to stand. I want to make a call out. I want to call out all the Hispanics, African Americans, minorities, Caucasians. Doesn't matter what country you come from. We have to come together in unity, and we have to stand what God is expecting from us as Christians. We have to stand about our biblical values. We have to understand that we're not only voting for a person, we're voting for a platform. But because when Donald Trump would not be there, the next successor, whoever's going to be running for president, is going to be standing by the same platform. And the platform of the Republican Party is the one that is aligned into biblical values at this point right now. And we're standing in what God says in his word. We're standing for what President Trump is saying, because he's really have come to a place where he has said promises made, promises kept, and we have to continue to push forward the agenda. Forget about the fake news. Forget about those the radicals that are trying to do something, put some noise out there with no information and no facts. We have the facts here.
One of the chapters is promises made, promises kept.
Great.
And another chapter is Black Americans, Democrats, and Trump. And to talk about the history of the Democratic Party and slavery and Jim Crow laws and everything else is just crazy that such a high percentage of black people would support a party that has really been the party of slavery and keeping them down. And I make a very strong case.
It's very good.
My dear brother, before we go, and now we're coming to a closing of a very, very good show. How can people get a hold of the book?
Well, right now it's only available on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com or ChristianBooks.com. They can order it in advance. It won't come out until January 14th. And then it'll be in all the stores. Now, I brought a couple of the copies in English, 2 copies.
Yep.
You can give them away too for English speakers of God and Donald Trump or Trump Aftershock.
All right. Well, I thank you very much, sir. Can we invite you again?
I love it.
All right.
I'll work on my Spanish before I come back.
Yeah.
Good. Joey, you and the guys and Nathalie. Tú puedes venir el 16, ¿verdad?
Yes, we can come. We'll do this again.
We'll do this again. You want to give a really a pitch out real quick on the event?
Yes. So we want to welcome everybody again to come and celebrate our first gala dinner. Okay, it's coming from the Hialeah Republican Club. It's going to be celebrated here on December the 14th of 2019. And we're going to give you more information. We once again want to tell you, a ti el latino, a ti el hispano, queremos dejarte saber que te tienes que levantar. Tenemos que unir fuerza. No podemos quedarnos sentados en la casa pidiendo y no accionando nada. La palabra dice, la Biblia dice que la fe sin obra es una fe muerta. Y si no ponemos acción en las palabras que decimos, no vamos a alcanzar lo que queremos. Así que necesitamos tu voto, necesitamos tu acción, unirnos como hermanos en la fe, unirnos como un solo cuerpo para poder alcanzar y que nuestro presidente Donald Trump sea el próximo presidente en el 2020.
All right, tenemos candidato aquí. All right, él va a correr para algo. I don't know what he's going to run for, but he's running for something. Natalie, mi corazón, algo que le quieras decir al público bien rapidito, por favor.
Bueno, que nos unamos como pueblo, los latinos y los hispanos, nos unamos, que no perdamos la fe en nuestro presidente, que no perdamos la fe en nuestro futuro. Por favor, a votar en el 2020 y por el presidente Donald Trump.
Exactly. And the next time that we have our election night in November, not only we're going to talk about the aftershock of Trump, we're going to talk about the tsunami that the Republicans have done, and when Nancy Pelosi has to give her gavel back because she lost it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before we go, I want to do a shout out. A person that really deserves a shout out, and it's my wife, Adianis Morales Robles. I want to give her a shout out. She's a wonderful wife. She's doing everything that she's doing. She's working a lot and strong, so I want to bless her. I bless her.
Amen.
I love you with everything.
No, hay que darle bendiciones because she's a good friend too, and many blessings, and may God keep her safe in all of her endeavors, and of our brother Joey.
Yes,
my
sir.
dear brother, did you like the show? Anything?
It's a lot of fun. I've never done this before.
Would you like to come back again?
Anytime.
You like it bilingual like this, Spanish and English?
Spanish and English?
You hold it.
I speak Spanglish.
Okay.
Bueno, mi hermano, ¿quieres decirle algo a tu gente amada de Venezuela? Sí, que no desmayen y que hay muchísima gente trabajando por el país y que vamos a seguir remando. Vamos a seguir remando hasta conseguir la libertad, que es el objetivo.
Amén, amén. Bueno, tenemos estudio lleno aquí en Listen to Me. What the competition can do, because you know what? They're suffering from the aftershock. Anyway, I love you guys. This is J Rodríguez. This is another show of Listen to Me. Mi gente, No tengan miedo. Salgan a votar. Salgan a hablar. Salgan a hacer lo que necesitan. Puerto Rico Estado,
Así
51. Venezuela libre. Cuba libre. Yes. We're gone. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.